¿Sabe qué piensan? Pero
No.
is
I guess they just have to send a notice to all the entities.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Gonzalez, would you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Lord, we come together tonight to discuss the important business of the college. We ask you to be with us, that we make decisions that are pleasing to you, that are in support of our students, support of our faculty, and support of our institution. We ask this in your son's name. Amen.
Dean of the Board of Trustees of Southwest Texas Junior College for fiscal year 1.
Yes, sir. The Board of Trustees of Southwest Texas Junior College met in regular session August 19th, 2021 in the Matthews Student Center Bluebonnet Room. Board President Rodolfo R. Flores called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Board members present were Rodolfo R. Flores, President, Dr. Harry O. Watkins, Vice President, Dr. Antonio Rivera, Secretary, Maria Elena Lara, Victor Lopez, Tony T. Moreno, and Anita Shackelford. Also present was Dr. Hector Gonzalez, President of the college. The minutes of the June 17th board workshop and regular board meeting were read and approved as presented by Dr. Antonio H. Rivera, Secretary. The board president Flores welcomed guests at the meeting, which included college personnel, Ann Tarski, Margot Mata, Derek Sandoval, Wade Carpenter, Ismael Martinez, Robert Munoz from Sol Ross, Chris McLaurin from Aleutian, Bella Rubio from Real County, and Melissa Fetterspill from the Uvalde Leader News. Audience to patrons, none. Review of the safety and security audit as presented by Derek Sandoval. President's report presented by Dr. Hector Gonzalez. A motion was made by Anita Shackelford and seconded by Tony T. Moreno to approve the July 31st, 2021 financial statement as presented by Ann Tarski. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Victor Lopez and seconded by Tony T. Moreno to approve the payroll stipends. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. Motion was made by Victor Lopez and seconded by Dr. Harry O. Watkins to approve moving colleague student information system to the cloud. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Anita Shackelford and seconded by Dr. Harry O. Watkins to approve the Real County tax collector to collect taxes for Southwest Texas Junior College. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Tony T. Moreno and seconded by Dr. Harry O. Watkins to accept the certified tax roll subject to properties under protest. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Victor Lopez and seconded by Maria Elena Lara to propose the tax rate of 0.1535 per $100 valuation, the no new revenue rate. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Anita Shackelford and seconded by Dr. Antonio Rivera to place on the September 16th, 2021 board meeting agenda to adopt the tax rate of 0.1535 per $100 valuation, the no new revenue rate. Motion carried unanimously. All voted yay. A motion was made by Anita Shackelford and seconded by Tony T. Moreno, authorizing the college president to contract with Davis Powell Architecture, Dirksen Engineering, and MEP Engineering for architecture and engineering projects. Motion was carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Victor Lopez and seconded by Anita Shackelford to accept the bid of A.E. Heiler and Sons on the Eagle Pass paving projects. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Tony T. Moreno and seconded by Victor Lopez to approve the purchase of a polymer modular building, 124 feet by 64 feet. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Tony T. Moreno, seconded by Anita Shackelford. After reviewing the SWTJC COVID-19 resolution to reaffirm the resolution, motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Rodolfo Flores and seconded by Anita Shackelford to nominate Tony T. Moreno for the Uvalde County Appraisal District Board. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. A motion was made by Maria Elena Lauda and seconded by Tony T. Moreno to require the use of masks on SWTJC campuses effective immediately. Motion carried unanimously. A copy is attached. Board President Flores called the board into executive session at 8:24 to consider employees terminated, resigned, rehired, new hires, and transfers. At 9:35, the SWTJC board reconvened in regular session. With no further business or actions to discuss, Anita Shackelford made the motion to adjourn. Dr. Harry O. Watkins seconded the motion. The motion carried at 9:36 p.m.
Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? If not, they will stand approved as read. We're glad to have with us as our guest, Ann Crosby, Wade Covington, Melissa Satterfield, Mork Underwood, Greg Sandoval, and Morgan Lopez, Mata. I'm sorry. Good for you to be with us. Thank you again. Now, do we have any audience to papers?
No, sir.
We now have reports, SACS and the COC office site visit reports.
Dr. Underwood would present that.
Good evening. Good evening. And there's a memo in your file, I believe, that gives a brief description of the site visit that we're going to expect to have. We expected to have it on literal people here to visit 8 of our off-campus sites. Because of the uncertainty of COVID, the committee has decided to conduct the site visit completely virtually. We are at our midway point in our 10-year reaffirmation cycle. You all remember we were reaffirmed in 2016 in June, the June meeting. So we're 5 years in, and so we are required to write a 5-year interim report and send that into SAC-COC, which was done on Monday. I got an email this morning that has been received. The requirement is basically so that SAC-COC can report some different kinds of things to the Department of Ed at an institution's midway point in their accreditation. Because we've added 16 sites as official sites where a student can get 50% more of a credential since 2016, June, some of those sites are subject to visitation by a committee. And so they picked 8 sites, 6 high school sites, and our, 7, I guess if you count Pearsall. We call it our site. The Pearsall district owns it, but we do a lot of things there. And then our Chittum technical campus in Eagle Pass. So I believe I've listed there the sites: the Del Rio High School, the Technical Center, CC Wynn in Eagle Pass, the Chittum Center in Eagle Pass, Hondo High School, Medina Valley High School, Natalia High School, and then the Pearsall Instructional Facility. This committee they were not going to be on campus other than to work. Had they come in person, they would simply use, they would have used a base site here to do their work. So none of the permanent campuses are under review. This is only those 8 sites for this 5th year report. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have those. We've been answering a few questions for the committee. Well, actually, not that committee just yet. The 5th year report committee. We're not going to hear from them. The offsite report committee has been emailing me a few questions about the report, and we've been responding and giving them more information and folks to talk to. The committee chair just happens to be somebody I know. I served on a committee with her a couple of years ago. She's very, very experienced, very professional, and I'm looking forward to their visit. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the fall 2021 enrollment report.
Ms. Margot Mata will do that one.
Good evening. Provided you with the enrollment report for this term, fall 2021. We are reporting, the report reflects a drop in our enrollment. Compared to last fall, 2020, it leaves us with an overall 9.5% drop in headcount, 11.2% drop in both contact and credit hours. This enrollment gap is actually an even split within our dual credit and non-dual credit students. At this point, we continue to look at enrollment initiatives and strategies, of course, in efforts to encourage and support students. We know that these are difficult times. Many students are experiencing financial and economic hardships, as well as other factors for their well-being. We're taking a holistic approach by reaching out and assessing students' needs in efforts to provide them with the necessary tools to pursue their education. We are currently registering students for our second 8-week term. The first day of class is scheduled for October the 13th, so that still gives us about a couple of weeks of registration. Of course, all sites right now are busy registering students accordingly, and we're now moving towards preparing for our spring term. I'd entertain any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is President's report.
Yes, sir. Begin item number 6 in your packet, COVID-19. We've had multiple COVID exposures, COVID positives, but we're managed to maintain an in-person environment for our students, for our staff. Our maintenance department has been hit particularly hard. I think we experienced a period there without any supervisors because they were all out either positive or exposed. I guess they were all positive. They were all positives. So they're coming back. We keep getting additional exposures, as we go through. Hopefully, we've hit the worst times until the next holiday season. You heard about the fall semester down 9%. The good thing is we still have lost revenue. I'll go into that here shortly with the CARES Act. But we are down, and as Margot said, we have working on strategies, initiatives to make up, for those students and how we market and how we reach out to those students. The CARES HERF fund so these numbers are as of last Thursday, so they're dated a little bit. But student funds, we've been awarded cumulative for the 3 grants, $11 million. We had awarded last week as of $5 million, I think, and the number left is about $3 million.
Yes.
$3 million left to be awarded. On the institutional side, we had $16.5 million. We've expended 7.2, and then we have a recapture of lost revenue of 6.5. That 6.5 includes our estimates for fall and spring, based on the 9% decrease that we have here. So we're setting aside that money so that we can recapture that from the grant. 188,000 have been purchased but hasn't arrived, leaving us with 2.5 million unencumbered. We had a list of items for proposed that 2.5 million, one of which is the WIT building HVAC. Engineers are looking at that. We're probably Friday on campus to make another visit. Okay. Some programming, almost 200,000, 20,000 professional development, and then the modular building, 450,000 plus the installation cost. So we're estimating that at 750. So that pretty much identifies where we would spend almost 2 million out of the 1.5, leaving about 600,000 left there. And again, we have to spend these monies by May of 22. Just to recapture or restating that lost revenue from spring of 2020 through spring of 21, $3.5 million was charged as lost revenue. And then you can see the estimate there for fall and spring of this year. Below that, you have some of the items that we talked about at the budget hearing. about using some of that lost revenue that went straight to our fund balance. The Chittum and AO parking lot, which the board approved that contract, $450,000. The others were deferred maintenance items, the Building C roof replacement, the gym roof replacement, and then $250 investment in the maintenance fleet and equipment that we have. So that would leave reserves, 4.8 million out of the lost revenue reserves, not our total reserves. On the partnerships, we continue working with Union Pacific to try to find a high-impact program that touches all of our campuses. Last Friday, attended a award ceremony where Saul Ross awarded 3 scholarships, the Robert Norris Teacher Scholarship to 3 of our graduates. So these students, it's about a $48,000 scholarship that they receive, will pay all their courses to finish up in a STEM area. I believe 2 of the young ladies are math and one of them is biology. That scholarship program is designed to kind of grow your own STEM educators. So part of the requirements is they agree to teach in the area for 2 years. On the grant side, the IREPO grant, this is a $1.5 million. The big portion of that grant was initially to put in the smart room technology like we have here. Obviously, we charged all those to the grant. So we have a committee working on repurposing about $1 million of that grant for other areas that we may be needing to expand upon. So and that's kind of ongoing as we speak. Rodeo students, upcoming events, September 24th, 25th, they'll be at Panola. October 1st and 2nd, we are hosting the rodeo here. 15 and 16, they're going to Northeast Texas. And then October 29th, McNeese, and then they'll end up the semester in Sam Houston on November the 12th and 13th.
Any questions?
Can I ask what you were talking about? Is the enrollment down due to dual credit?
Half of the decline was dual credit students, and the other half was regular college students. So about 300 each less. And it's not any single district. When we look at all the districts, it was, one of them had 5 less, another one had 10 less. It's just a cumulative. Other than bracket went entirely with ASU. But bracket, what did we have? Maybe 10, 12 students? It wasn't a significant amount. But it's just, a lot of it, I think, has to do with COVID and remote learning and just, we're feeling the impact. I don't know what the number is across the state. They sent us a survey 2 days ago. So all the colleges are filling that survey request, submit it. We should have it back maybe within a week or so on see what the state is doing as a whole for enrollment for the fall. But I know, we've had students that elected to be in a face-to-face classroom, and many of those students have self-selected to move over to a Zoom classroom just because of the environment that we're in. We're not penalizing them. If they want to move over, feel more comfortable in the Zoom environment, we're letting that happen. So, our faculty association president shared at cabinet yesterday, that they've experienced numerous students just electing to go back to Zoom.
And Dr. Gonzalez, the only program that we did not continue was just the auto body, but as far as all our other programs, they're still all going, right?
They're all going. And when you look at our enrollment by division, our allied health division is pretty solid. You don't see a decrease there. Our tech programs, a little bit of decrease, but not much. It's primarily in the academic side, our liberal arts side, our arts and sciences and social sciences. That's where you see the decreases. And it's not a particular campus either. It's just everywhere, but it's primarily on the academic side, not on our technical side.
Thank you. Next item is consider an act on unaudited financial statements for August 31 to 2021.
Number 7 in your board packet is the statement of our financial statements as of August 31st. I'll remind the board that we are under audit, so these numbers will change before Mr. Eade comes and gives you our final audit numbers, but this is a soft close that we've done. And year-to-date revenue for educational is $61,795,000. Our revenue for student aid was $12,411,000. Our expenditures for educational are $43,921,000. Student aid had expenditures in the amount of $17,199,000. Our auxiliary enterprises had expenditures in the amount of $1,115,000, making our total expenditures before debt service $62,236,000, leading to total excess revenue in the amount of $10,711,000. Pages 2 through 11 are the details that support those numbers. On page 12, you'll find our statement of net assets as of August 31st. We had total current assets in the amount of $19,907,000, non-current assets $44,602,000, making our total asset figure $64,509,000. Our total current liabilities were $8,560,000. Non-current liabilities, $19,351,000, making our total liability figure $27,912,000. Our net assets without GASB adjustments as of August 31st, 2020 was $36,596,000, again making our increase in net assets $10,711,000. On pages 13 through 15, you'll find our summary of account balances. As of August 31st, we had cash in the bank of $8,144,000, certificates of deposit $12,850,000, making our total account balance $20,994,000.
We've never seen that number before in our bank.
Very exciting. Pages 16 through 18 are our investments in certificates of deposit. We had restricted certificates of deposit in the amount of $8,850,000. Our unrestricted CDs were $4 million, making our total certificate of deposit amount $12,850,000. Page 19 shows the maturities and the renewals of certificates of deposit during the month of August. On page 20, we show our scholarship amounts. We had total scholarships in the amount of $952,745. Our other investments are the Will C. Miller corporate stocks, which were valued at $242,304. Our corporate plant funds, $154,554.
Any questions or comments? None, we entertain a motion.
I move.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. item is consider an act on adopting the tax rate of 0.1535 per $100 property valuation.
Yes, sir, that's number 8 in your board packet. We recommend that the board make a motion that, well, it has to be a specific language, but that says, propose that the Board of Trustees vote to adopt a tax rate of 0.1535 per $100 of property valuation. This will represent a decrease in the tax rate, but will provide the college with the same amount of revenue as in the previous year.
Will you entertain a motion?
I'll
You
second.
wanna read it?
You have to read it. I propose that the Board of Trustees vote to adopt a tax rate of 0.1535 per $100 valuation property. This will represent a decrease in the tax rate, but will provide the college with the same amount of revenue as in the previous year.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Mr. Flores, can we let the record show that all members voted in favor?
Let the record show everybody what was unanimous.
Unanimous.
Let the record show we also decreased our tax rate. The next item is consider and act on Will County Appraisal District Board nomination. I nominate Ms. Nita Shackelford.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Not even say your name.
You were nominated.
I was nominated.
We're supposed to keep our taxes down.
I was putting out there. I want to be nominated. Mr. Flores, you
Sounds like a railroad.
ganged up on me.
It is now 8:35. And the Board of Trustees will convene in closed session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to consider A, employee terminated, resign, retire, new hires, transfers. Texas Government Code Section 551.074. We're now in executive session.